Assalamu
alaikum. Please take your time. So you are from FAHAD ZIA, you are from Mansehra.
Yes, sir.
Chale, you introduce yourself to all of us.
My name is FAHAD ZIA. I belong to district Mansehra, but I am settled in Islamabad. My father works in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and since my childhood, I have mostly been abroad. My primary education has been from India, and secondary education from Iran. I completed my metric and FSc from Turkey. I came back to Pakistan to pursue electrical engineering. After 4 years, I worked in a private company. And in a private company, I served as an administration as well as technical side. And in that time, I realized my potential of becoming a better administrator. So I decided to join some administration job, and I found an opportunity in Islamabad as an administrative coordinator. So I came to Islamabad and I served in that institute for almost 3 years. In that job, I worked with the British Council as well as with the PIRA and Federal Board. Then continuing on, I realized that I wanted to serve the public, so I decided to join public sector. Hence, I applied for the job in KPK Public Service Commission, where I was selected as a district food controller. So I had the honor to serve as the youngest district food controller in 2019, and I served in Torgar. That is one of the toughest areas of KPK, which was formerly a part of the PATA, the Provincially Administrated Tribal Areas. And while I was serving there, I qualified the exam of PMS, and then I was selected as ACUT in KPK. So right now I'm serving as Assistant Commissioner under training. I have undergone 5 months of UTship there, and currently I am undergoing online training by PPSC Peshawar.
Good. So how long you stayed in Turkey?
3 years.
3 years. At what level? What was your age?
My age was, it was a metric and FSc. I did from there.
You did your metric and FSc level. What they call it?
There they call high school and college.
High school and college. Quite, I think you were quite old enough to tell us something about Turkey.
Definitely. So Turkey is a wonderful country, and especially when being a Pakistani, I was there. I felt honored because they used to call the Turkey and Pakistanis Kardesh, which in Turkish means brothers. And I went there in 2009, and when I went there, then there was a guy who met me and he was crying. I said, "Why are you crying?" And he said that our leader, Mohtarama Benazir Bhutto, she has died in the recent episode. So we are sad for her. And the people there in Turkey, especially the old people there, they really feel like our brothers and sisters to us. And second thing is that they're highly patriotic. They really take care of their values, which I'm really impressed by them.
Why they call them sick men of Europe?
They're called sick men of Europe because in the early 20th century, what happened was that Turkey could not bear the burden because it was the center of the Ottoman Caliphate. So it became so weak at that time that it could not carry on the legacy it had. That's why it's called sick men of Europe.
What is the traveling time between this Istanbul to Europe? Bosphorus cross karne mein, how much time it takes?
So I went by road, it took me 6 hours. Ankara to Istanbul.
Ankara to Istanbul?
Yes, sir, 6 hours.
So you have been in active service in the KPK province, then you are Assistant Commissioner under training there. What type of training you are getting there in the district?
So we had ACUTship, we were attached to our senior batch, and we were mainly dealt with the responsibilities of COVID-19, SOPs implementation in the markets, in marriage halls, schools and colleges. Apart from that, we had revenue training as well to some extent.
What are the function of the Deputy Commissioner there?
The main function of the Deputy Commissioner is he is a representative of the provincial government. That is primary role there, and he is the district collector of all the taxes. And second thing is that he is responsible for all the departments which are devolved to the provincial government under the district, like health and education. He oversees the functioning of those departments, and he reports the performance to the provincial government.
What are your views about development of tourism in KPK? What new initiative have been taken?
Sir, I myself was lucky to be part of the team which was responsible to highlight the locations in KPK, especially in District Mansehra, because it's the topmost district for tourism, which are suitable for the investment. We had a team from the UAE And we decided that we should now highlight those spots which have those potential which has not already been tapped. And especially I was in Tehsil Buffer there, Buffer Pakal. So we highlighted the spots of the tourism potential such as which need investment right now. And we should also make sure that we should go for sustainable tourism, and we should not convert the greenery into the concrete based buildings and hotels and restaurants. So we worked in that field too. So the potential for tourism is great in that area.
Yeah, recently, KPK government has bought 2 buildings in Kisakhani Bazaar.
Yes, sir.
What are those buildings?
So in Kisakhani Bazaar, I read in one news that there is a Mahalla Sethiyan type of some building there, and the KPK government has opened that to the public. So public can see the heritage there in that building.
No, the 2 buildings they have bought. One is these are the 2 old houses, they say.
2 old houses. So I think they are related to actors, actors. Yes, sir. They were actors.
एक दिलीप कुमार का घर है.
The old house in Peshawar, and they've bought that, and I cannot recall the other one.
हाँ, ये दूसरा भी राज कपूर का घर है. एक 4 मरले का, एक 6 मरले का है.
Yes, sir.
And they are going to convert it. आर्कियोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट को हैंड ओवर कर दिया है. तो ये टूरिज्म के लिए कर रहा है ना. They are doing it for tourism. There is a claim of the KPK government that they have brought a lot of reforms in the health sector and they have changed Thana culture. Can you tell us what has been done?
Yes, sir. I myself visited the Thanas and various police stations there as well. They have made some model police stations there. In those police stations, we can really see that some change has been brought in them. For example, when someone comes for the complainant, bringing a complaint, that complaint is registered in a sequential way, such that it's also online, and others can also access that complaint of that office. Second thing is that the atmosphere. Currently, earlier it was thought that Thana culture is something like one should be afraid of, one should not go to Thana. But while being there, I realized that yes, the model Thanas, I'm not talking of the other ones, but especially these Thanas, they provide some sort of support to the people, emotionally as well as psychologically.
How the policies are made? You are a student, you have taken the subject of public policy. How policy formation is done? What are the steps?
Yes, sir. So for policy formulation, there are multiple steps. First of all, an issue is taken up by the stakeholders. Then they decide of the issue that, okay, what happens with this issue, starting from the root cause, how to resolve any issue. So first they highlight all the key points in them, and then those key points involve the stakeholders. Then they take their input from the stakeholders. Like from talking realistically, there are multiple departments. If they want to make a policy regarding a certain department, they'll take input from that department. They'll, yes, we want to make this policy, give us your input. After taking those inputs from them, then they formulate them in a sequential manner. They prioritize the demands. This should be first, this should be second. After doing this process, then they are put forward for the further implementation. And once they are decided in a formal manner, then they are coded into in such a way that they can be implemented on the grassroots level.
After implementation, what is the stage?
So after implementation, then there is a 5 years process in which every year we examine the policies which have been made, and are they achieving their targets or not for the purpose which they were made. So they are assessed on annual basis till 5 years, and in case some change is required, then that change is incorporated next time when again a policy is being made. And if it is found that that policy does not serve the purpose, then that has to be truncated. But normally in public service, policies are not so much truncated, they are modified to a greater extent.
Okay. Can I have your comments about the current political situation in Pakistan?
So current political situation is in a bit of turmoil, because right now, as we have seen in the past also, that there is opposition party, and then those on the treasury benches, they are at loggerheads. So I think we have some political consensus to make this democracy move forward.
What they should do?
So now, interestingly, both the parties are talking of democracy and democratic process, but what they are doing is exactly the opposite of what they should do for the democratic process.
Who should take the initiative?
So those on the treasury benches, since they are in the driving seat, they should take the initiative.
Up, sir.
What are the characteristics of a good bureaucrat?
So the main characteristic of a good bureaucrat is that he should have empathy, and he should be able to understand the problem of others and solve them in a manner that rules and regulations allow him to do so.
Rules and regulations.
Yes, sir.
That's all?
So this is the main characteristics. Apart from that, then there are other things, like as Weber has described, that following the code of conduct and then following the hierarchy and moving through that system of the governance.
If bureaucrats follow the rules strictly, do you think it will, the public interest will suffer, because this way the matter get delayed?
So strictly speaking, the rules are made in such a way that they should help the public. Yeah, in certain cases, if we follow them strictly, some things can be compromised, but broadly speaking, they serve the public if they're followed well.
Roots. Today there was an article in the paper regarding the house of Dilip Kumar and Raj Kapoor. So the caption was roots. How do you read it?
So I read it as a person who is born in one place. He has got some sort of emotional attachment to that place. Now, despite the fact they are in India, they are doing their own career, but their roots belong to Peshawar, and they own it.
What is the central theme of this book, Becoming by Michelle Obama? Central theme.
So the central theme of this book is that how to be yourself in face of the obstructions. How to trust in yourself.
How to?
Trust yourself in the face of the obstacles you face in society.
And how do you see the presidential reference filed in the Supreme Court regarding the Senate elections?
Sir, though I don't have much read about this, but I believe that the reference that is filed in Supreme Court about Senate election, things should be done on their proper time. And once we try to play with the system and tweak with the system for our vested interest, it does not serve the purpose.
Do you think Supreme Court can rule against the provision of the Constitution, what has been specified there with regard to elections? Can Supreme Court overrule that? Repeal that?
I don't feel it will overrule, but it can give some interpretation in such a way that the process is not stopped. It carries on.
What is non-proliferation, nuclear non-proliferation treaty? Have you heard about it?
Yes, sir. NPT.
NPT. When was that instituted?
So I don't remember the exact year, but I know its theme. Why was it done?
Huh?
Why was this made?
Yes.
This treaty. So this was a purpose because at a time when there was nuclear waste going on among the competitors, they came to this NPT, nuclear non-proliferation treaty, that they should limit the number of the nuclear arsenal to make this world a peaceful and healthier to live in. And they will not compete in making the nuclear bombs or even nuclear missiles to compete with one another. This was the essence of this treaty.
Has Pakistan signed it, ratified it?
But Pakistan has not ratified
Why?
it. Pakistan said that if Pakistan will ratify it, subject to condition that India will ratify it, because they are in the nuclear waste.
But apart from this, there are certain other reservations also. This is not the only one that India has signed it, so Pakistan will not sign it. There are a few others also, points others in this regard.
So I cannot recall them exactly right now, but I believe there are others too.
And what is CTBT?
A comprehensive test ban treaty. The purpose of CTBT was to stop the testing of the nuclear arsenal to make sure that the environment does not get hazardous furthermore. To limit the damage to the environment of all the tests, whether done in the ocean or on the land. The comprehensive test ban treaty, ban on the tests of nuclears.
When was it executed?
So I don't know.
Time frame, otherwise, you see.
1960s or 70s?
No. 1996. And the non-proliferation, that was 1968. What is Pakistan's nuclear doctrine?
Pakistan's nuclear doctrine is no first use policy.
No first use policy. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
It has changed. It has gone beyond no nuclear first
Have read enough.
Now it is full spectrum.
Okay,
Go and have a look at it.
sure, sir.
And the possibility of first use of nuclear weapons is there now in the new policy.
Okay, sir.
What are tactical weapons?
So I have no idea of it.
Okay.
Fahad, what is the difference? What was the difference between the philosophy of Deoband and Nadwatul Ulama?
So I believe Deoband were a bit conservative as compared to Nahdlatul Ulama, and they were a bit open in their thoughts.
Who has founded Nadwatul Ulama?
So I don't know the exact name.
Would you like to tell me the three main features of Minto Morley reforms?
So there was a right of the separate electorate for the Muslims. The first one in 1909, which where the reforms were made, and then there was the partition of. There was annulment. No, it was before. Main thing was separate electorate. I can recall that.
Tell me two more features as well. Okay. Let me ask another. How French president is elected?
So they have their council of the members from which he is elected.
And who elect this member of councils?
I don't know exactly.
What are the three main feature Plato ideal state?
So Plato's ideal state states that the philosopher king, who should be the one who should be ruling that, first of all, he should be free from any private interests. That's the first thing. Second thing is that he should not have any family, because if that he is a burden, he will not be able to discharge his duties. And the third thing is that whatever he is doing, he should do so in public interest, and he gave a theory of communism, which applies in his Plato's ideal theory of state.
Do you know that in 1946, Quaid-e-Azam has accepted the cabinet mission or cabinet proposal for United India? Why did he accept it, this proposal for United India?
I believe there was a last attempt to make sure if there's a possibility, but that did not survive
No.
of United India.
Why Nehru has rejected the cabinet proposal?
So I haven't given a second read, so I cannot exactly comment on that.
My last question is that many people believe that the French Revolution was basically, this idea is basically taken from American War of Independence. How?
So the American War of Independence took place in 1776. So those people, when they revolted against the British rule, and then they also got the courage that if people, they are also Englishmen, both are Englishmen, and they are revolting against one another for their rights, why can't we do so? So the French Revolution took the inspiration from them.
No. Basically, the soldier who have participated on the side of American, once they return back, they ask the same demand, equality and democracy and a few others. Then this French Revolution has been started from there.
They came back to France.
जी.
Okay.
Because France जो था वो उसके allies थे war के अंदर,
Yes.
American के. Thank you, sir.
Fahad, you lived in Iran as well. Would you please tell us something about Iranian society?
Sir, what I felt there is that Iranian society, they mainly focus on their health. That's the first one thing. And second thing is that they focus on social activities a lot, and they are really keen towards football, and they like playing football a lot. And as far as these other social things are concerned, they really they pay a homage to their religious festivals, like Nowruz and like other festivals they have in Iran. And last thing is that they are peaceful people.
They are?
Peace-loving people.
Is there any similarity between Nikola Tesla and Elon Musk?
So I believe there's a striking similarity. First thing is that when we read the lifestyle of Nikola Tesla, he faced so many hurdles in his life. And when I read the lifestyle of Elon Musk, at times he was so devastated that they were all opponents against him, his ideas. But now we see SpaceX, the Tesla Motors, Hyperloop, PayPal, all these are the functions which have been made by Elon Musk. And even he has named that company in the honor of Nikola Tesla, the Tesla Motors.
Okay, you told us that Turkish people, they regard Pakistani citizens very much. Why so? Is there any historical connection to that the brotherhood which Turkish people extend to Pakistan?
Yes, sir. I asked this exactly same question to an old man in Turkey, and he replied me with a very nice answer. He said that the Khilafat movement which took place in past, and that Khilafat movement, even the women, they sold their jewelry to make sure that the Khilafat does not come to an end. It should survive. So at that time, before at the end of First World War, the Pakistanis and the people of subcontinent, they took so much care of us, and so we need to also take care of our brothers.
And what was the Qaid-e-Azam opinion about Khilafat movement at that time?
I cannot exactly recall, but I remember that he did not give much to it. Even Allama Iqbal, I can recall him. He said that yeah, now the time is not there for Khilafat.
Okay. One last question: what are the elements of good governance?
So the very first element of good governance is accountability, and that comes with responsibility. So once someone is made responsible, he should be made accountable for that.
There are other elements of good governance.
Yes, sir. Then there's rule of law that comes in second. Then there comes transparency, and moving on, then there comes the public service element of good governance.